Really interesting. Wow. Yeah, really interesting how you consider the fold so heavily because people just under bluff in these $400 tournaments. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what are his bluffs? You know, like if we really think about it, like sure, ace high, like ace high has some showdown value if you had ace five, and when he raises the turn with maybe some backdoor diamond draw or something like that, he actually gets called. And on this kind of board, like what hands do you have that you're folding?
And it's gonna have some misdraws and things too. So I think calling is the only option myself. Let's see if Boogaloo got away from it. Ooh, call is 6.
So this is close between call.
Really interesting. So call is 6, raise is 7,500 is 10 points. And I'm going to say he said that because this is a very bad player. And so he thinks the very bad player is going to stack off here with worse queens a lot. I'm going to guarantee that's what he's going to say. Very interesting, though. I thought call for sure was the right answer. I never am in this spot. I don't know. Interesting spot, too. I think this is a little bit of a lesson for everyone out there, too. A lot of times, the hands we want to float with, like this one, are better as raises. So this kind of falls in that category.
Yeah, and he was kind of an echo chamber for us there, saying, you know, we just get better hands to call and worse to fold. Yep. Like he's going to have some gut shots in his range. He's going to have spade draw. He's going to have king X. And we kind of, I mean, we kind of identify kind of what cards are going to be bad for us on future streets, and we're aware how to proceed on those cards.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a very good point, man. You right.
That was the best. You didn't say anything. You won. Just straight up.
You won. I'm just.
All right, so look at this. You're not opening this. You just looked at this. You're not opening.
Button cut off, hijack, low jack, under the gun one. You are.
Come on now. Okay. I am. So let's see if he.
He's got to open it, or there wouldn't be a hand.
It wouldn't be a
I'm already down on points.
You're already down on points in real life. Now, obviously, you're gonna cheat, but
I'm gonna evolve.
you're gonna adapt, right?
All right, let's play it.
I'm going to cry if he says he's folding here. Like, if he's like, yeah, you should be folding this in this kind of tournament, and you were actually right. All right, cool.
Wah, wah.
Like a spot where we have
Ah!
standard.
Yes!
And the reason is because queen.
I just want to say for the record that this is the best 3-point score I've ever gotten in my life. Because the right answer was fold.
The right. But you heard what he said about the tables. This is a 3K.
Here comes the excuses. 10
The
points
excuses
fold.
to
It says
open
right
if your
here.
table is particularly tight and weak. Welcome to the $5 2K world. I mean, you know, the $11 10K. I'm opening this, yeah, for sure.
This is the best 3 points of my life.
Oh, that's hilarious. And everybody's 50.
Nailed it. What the hell kind of play is that from King Queen? Who does that?
Who the hell? Yeah, so Mad Dog.
Jonathan Little's an absolute crusher, so it's nice to have him.
Yeah, I agree, and I
He's
always
just
love
coaching.
playing right after sessions like this because I feel like my brain's warmed up. I'm thinking through things, and so it's a good way to start your session for sure.
Right. All right, guys, this is it.
What's up, Mike? You want to give a gist? He was saying Narco Cop was playing about D-pipping about 28% of hands. He had been very aggressive in this $10 buy-in, and here are the options to fold, to call, to raise to 1,200, raise to... What? Wait a minute, he made it 800, and my man's giving options for 12 and 1,400 ounces. So it's already getting kind of spicy. That's so nasty. To be on the site with these other crushers, you know, well-known poker public figures is pretty exciting, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't mention that when I was kind of giving a little intro here too. You know, Assassinato, Matt Affleck, John Little, all coaches on the site, so very highly respectable, quality poker content.
Yep, Evan Jarvis as well. You know, remember Evan Jarvis, Matt Affleck, Assassinato, John Little.
Yeah, so I guess that just makes sense. He just have the ace of clubs in his hand. That's interesting, though. I
How
thought
many
that was
points you got?
interesting.
You didn't do that bad. 45.
I like how you just pat me on the back. You didn't do that bad. Well, yeah, good job, buddy. Like,
The back.
I remember I got the higher score in the first one. So, you know, we're 1 for 1, buddy.
I just want to know.
Calling, guys. Let's see if we're good.
Similar situation. That's pre-flop? I think pre.
All right, guys, we're checking, I guess. Oh, for fuck's sake.
One of the things I see people when it comes to poker is when you can get to the turn, there's an opportunity.
When you're facing a min raise or just a touch more than a min raise, and there's an ante in play, which is going to be the case in most tournaments, I think, going forward, you want to defend pretty wide. If your opponent's making a 2.
All right, cool. You're going 1400.
I'm going 1400, guys.
I'm gonna go call with the arm and just see what happens.
All right, and
I would fold in game though, for the record, in case that's the winning end.
You won. You win. I have to concede. You win.
14K.
14K, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, no, we cannot win. This is a pretty rough spot because damn it.
Mm-hmm. Where do you gonna get my chat? They like naughty things. They like just beer, alcohol, you know.
All right, let's do I can do a $10 ACR giveaway.
$10 ACR giveaway courtesy of my man Toe. For me beating that ass heads up in this. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. We'll do this. We'll have to do it at least once a week, man. And then, you know, we'll do it. We'll do it every week a couple times.
So it's a tie.
I guess we got to give out $10 to each other's communities. We'll just do our own $10 free roll for each. Or does that sound fair?
Yes. Do you know what this means?
You win. I give his chat $10. Take it.
So that's cool
Filthy
because we have
animal.
2 ties and then a win from you and a win from me. This is like the epic battle. It's perfect. It's great.
Yeah, we're even Stevens.
This is awesome.
Take it.
I love it.
You know.
Stop. We got a giveaway going. Let's run the giveaway for the $10 ACR winner. Closing the giveaway. Drawing the winner. My man Sebs are getting the $10 ACR giveaway for this one. All right, guys, I think we did it. I think we're here. Let me get things sized up. I kind of just jumped in and got this started, kind of scrambling on my Saturday. How you doing? It's pokercoaching.com study stream. Just me today, as our partner Crazy Sixes is playing the main event. So we'll just take this opportunity to, you know, just get better without him. It's going to be awesome. Thanks for the happy birthday to the wife there, Beats. It was yesterday. Fish. And I will let her know. What's up, Karen? Costin in the house. What up, Marlon? On his way to play. Brian in the house. What's up, guys? How you doing? Cyrus. Why does the sun in here? Oh, it's just the reflection. It's not really. It's not really. I'm glowing. Do I look like I'm glowing? Pucks Poker, what up? 11/5 is your kid's birthday too. Nice, guys. Nice. Nice. All right. Exclamation point poker coaching in the chat for you. Get a link to sign up free where you can get a bunch of these free quizzes that we're about to do today. Homework assignments, big blind charts for 100 blinds and more, and a bunch of stuff. And then if you sign up for premium, there is a wealth of stuff you can use here. Thank you for that, Fish. Wealth of stuff you can use here. Courses, classes, webinars. Whoops.
There's the cash game masterclass. There's the tournament masterclass. There's mastering fundamentals. There's webinars every week with these coaches. Get in there. As you can tell, my brain's a little scrambled. It's been a long week, and we are going out to Jay Smith and Melissa 4121. I always forget the numbers. House today. So more scrambling. We're out with the poker coaching crew. It's wife's birthday right after that. It's been a madhouse. As you guys know, poker coaching, one word in the chat, I starting to see them stream in there. That'll get you in on the giveaway. And since it's just me, I'll draw 2 winners. This is the way this is going to work. I'll draw 2 winners, have you guys compete in this quiz. Whoever gets the highest score gets $5. Just that simple. Arlie in the house, what up? What up, what up? Bruce, good morning. Tino, what up? Cyrus, I don't think I said what up. What up, what up, what up? Come on in, guys. The water's fine. Let's do this, says Marlon on Twitter. Blimey in the house. What up? I just picked this random quiz here. This is Tristan Wade, $500 online MTT. I'm imagining because it's Tristan playing at 500. This is probably on WSOP.com. And it's probably either a ring or a bracelet event, I imagine. Knowing Tristan as I do. I don't know if you guys saw in my Discord and in the poker coaching Discord. Posted a bunch of pictures from the hangout, which was super fun. Hanging out at Top Golf. If you're not in the poker coaching Discord, !poker or PC Discord, get in there. It's free. It's open to everybody. We do another study stream on Discord exclusively, generally on Thursdays at noon Eastern. So get involved in that. There's more poker coaching questions going on. There's giveaways every week. Right now it's a $50 giveaway. All you have to do is get in there and click the little emote next to the giveaway post in the giveaway channel, and you're entered just like that. Meatball, good morning, what up? Hollywood in the house, what up? Geek Theory Optimal getting in there. And of course, Cap don't miss shit. He's a savage. Happy belated birthday. Thank you. My birthday's in March, JPG. Yesterday was the wife's birthday. But I appreciate it. All right, guys, I think we got enough people in here right now. Let's draw a couple of winners. What do you say? Bang! First one is Mr. Beats. And Beats going up against Bang! The dude, man. 2 legends. Legends in the house. All right, let me get another quick browser up so I can keep both scores. And while I'm doing that, I'm not the wife. No, she does. She's the boss and wears pants, but not the wife. Not the wife. 500 online tournament. Here it is. All right, cool. Let's run this. What do you guys say? Beats, dude, you ready? Let's do this.
Tristan here with a $500
turn this up
online MTT quiz. Let's see what I got for you. Action folds as the cutoff.
I'm getting the volume. Hang
Queen
on.
raises. And we have Queen 8 suited in the big blind, so usually just a call here. This is the flop, King 10-8. We check, our opponent then checks back. Turn is a deuce. What should we do? Should we check? Should we bet 800 or should we bet 1500?
What up, Big Dumb Brown? No, GPG was the wife. She said, I want to drive a tank for my birthday. I said, okay. And that's a video of her driving the tank. What are we doing here? So we defended Queen 8 suited, pretty standard. Check, check on the flop. And now we're here on the turn right away. Cyrus coming out with 800. Bruce, Tino, 1500. Hollywood, 800. Check. We got every answer so far. Very interesting. Very interesting. I see 800 from Blimey. Kept checking. Beats going 1500. Who's Beats playing? The dude. Dude. We haven't seen the dude yet. We got a nice little mix. 800 for the dude, so right away. Controversy, they're parting ways. check. This is a good quiz I took that I picked, huh? Especially because we're getting every answer. Check. I missed the flop. It checked around. We defended and then checked. All right, cool. For me, I'm not gonna say I don't bet on some frequency, but I do think the general line here is to. There is not even an overbet option here, Marlon. There's a check. And the reason being is because we're either way ahead or behind. I think when we bet here, are we turning an 8 into a bluff on the river? Like, it just gets super awkward and we can easily show this down. So I got a feeling we're supposed to check. I wouldn't be surprised if Tristan bets on some frequency. I think if we do bet, it's probably going to be the 1500 number. And the reason why we don't overbet, Marlon, is because, like, are we betting as a bluff? Or are we betting for value? If we're betting for value, there's not worse that's going to call the overbet for value. And if we're betting as a bluff, there's not better that's going to fold to the overbet. Like, the 10 is always calling. So I don't think overbet applies here. I think I would check in game, though. Beats doing 1500. We'll keep Beats on the main screen. Deuterino doing 800. We'll see what those scores are. Let me get a pen because I know this is weird when we do it on one browser. And I'm not the guy. I have blue tag that overbets bottom pair. I love to see that guy on my tables. I mean, there's a time and a place. I just don't know if this is the one. Let's find out. Beats said 1500. He likes to check.
So it's a little telling that our opponent checked the flop, but only a little bit. But I don't think we should feel too comfortable betting here with third pair. So if you were to bet, I think a smaller bet is in order rather than a larger bet. So I gave a bet of 806 points. And the best option here is to check. We just want to try to get to showdown cheaply, and we also want to get a little more information from our opponent. So I do check. Our opponent then checks again, and the river card comes a jack of clubs. What should we do now? Should we check? Should we bet 800 or bet 2,000?
Right move was check. Dude gets 6 points for the 800, and Beats getting dinged 3 because he sized up. So nice little lesson there. We don't want to turn like all this above. You know what's funny is like I would bet like queen 9. I would bet, right? Because then you just have the gut shot and a queen high, and you're not beating ace high, and then you can get some better to fold. You can get some value. You have ways to improve. Because even here, like if we hit a queen, we may or may not be good. So yeah, really interesting. Really interesting. He does double cap though. Now what? Bruce? Not Bruce. Dennis. Dennis checking. 2K for Lino. 2K for Meatball. Check for Fish. Check for Geek. Check for Blimey. With his line linking on the turn, I'm assuming he's check calling. Interesting centers. Cap says just call. Check call. Check call for pucks. 800 for the dude. Because he gets angry when I call him a nit all the time. Beat says, well, as played, check. All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a check. The jack's a bad card, right? Hits a lot of his continuing range. Now we're down to bottom pair effectively. I think check is pretty much the way. We don't bet 800 here, Bruce, because, like, again, are you betting for... Always ask yourself the key 2 questions with the key 2 follow-up questions. If we bet 800 here, are we betting as a bluff? If we're betting as a bluff, what's better? Oh, sorry, yeah, what's better that's going to fold? And if we're betting for value, what's worse that's going to call? When we have an 8, there is no worse. We're not getting value from a 2 or pocket 7s. We don't bet big, Marlon, because, again, are we betting for value? Or are we betting as a bluff, Marlon? Important stuff to think about as you head to your tournament, because this is like the key overall 2 questions and 2 follow questions that if you boil poker down to like the basics, this is it. And if we're betting big, again, are we betting for value? What's worse that's going to call? Are we betting as a bluff? What's better that's going to fold? In this case, the answer is nothing. Nothing. Check foldings is only yet. golly. I'm not sure if we're supposed to fold, if I'm honest. Because we checked 3 times, like he's incentivized to bet the river as a bluff because we're crazy capped. So he can start to turn his under. I guess maybe not under pair. Under pair's got showdown when we check, but we still have 10 in our range. So maybe some like pocket 7s, pocket 6s, and under might bet to get a 10 to fold. Or maybe even our hand to fold, like an 8. And certainly a pair under an 8 to fold. If they've got like ace high or something. It's a really tough one. I definitely think we check here, though. Let's find out. Shit. What did... Beat said he was checking, and I think it was 800 for Brian. Yeah. All right, let's find out. Check 10 points.
So again, the river changes the texture of the board quite a bit. And can hit our opponent's range a little bit. So I just don't think our hand's strong enough to be betting here. So if you wanted to bet, betting 800, I gave a score of 5. Betting 2,000, I gave a score of 2 because I think that's just a poor bet to try to bet pot here. What are you really representing? So we really should just be checking here that quite a bit. And I end up checking. And our opponent bets 1,200. Now, what do you think we should do? Should we fold? Should we call? Or should we raise to 3,800?
Yeah, see, this is where it gets interesting. Do we call? Do we raise? What do we think, guys? This is a little bit of a weird one on the river here. I like this quiz. What'd you think? Fold, fold. Some folds coming through. Arlinia sticking with the fold. There's a call for pucks. Fold for Felisa Suerte. Good morning. Raise really feels punty since we don't have many nut-based hands on the flop. Especially ones that we check the turn. Like we're really repping like Queen 9 or something, right? Fold, fold, fold for Brian. Fold, fold, fold for Meatball. Fold for JPG. I mean, we have a bit of information. Cyrus, he checked flop and turn, which means he doesn't have a king, doesn't have 10. He doesn't have a lot of 2-pair. Right? There's no sets. Usually the gut shot, something like ace queen, is going to bet either flop or turn, but that's possible. Bluff raise is a little interesting here too. I agree, Kep, in that like we have a queen, so we block the nuts quite a bit. Could have ace jack for sure. That makes sense. Although, like I said, the gut shot's like usually they're going to bet in the back seat against big blind defend. Not always, but usually. So that's where this one gets really sticky. I'm not sure what Tristan's going to do here, to be honest with you. I think I would probably call in game, but I can definitely see some reasons to fold. And the only reason why we're calling with 4th pair here, Brian, is because, like, you check flop and turn. So, like, he definitely doesn't have a king. So 4th pair just became 3rd pair. On the river, when we check 3 times, like, the jack, it's kind of jack or nothing. 9s and 10s, like, well, 10s hits trips, right? Fish, so like that would be betting at some point. 9s like probably doesn't bet the river, and certainly doesn't bet this like value size. How often do we need right to make based on the pot odds? Oh, that's a good question. To be honest, I'm not sure what pot odds we need to be calling with 4th pair, right? This is interesting. We're going to find out, though. Fold for Deuterino and call for Beats. Let's find out. Call 10 points.
So I think the big thing
Fold
on
5.
the river here is
close.
What are the best hands our opponent plays this way? And would they ever check back the flop and turn with ace queen? I think it's a possibility, although not all likely. Would they ever check the flop and turn with like Jack 10? Or Jack 8. Jack 10 probably bets the turn. Jack 8 might check the turn. So that's roughly like the best of what we're looking at. I think Queen 9 probably puts in a bet on the flop or turn. So really when we get to this river, I give folding the worst option. I just don't think we're up against a whole lot. And the best hand we're up against is maybe Ace Jack. I think Queen Jack either bets the flop or turn as well, since it only has Queen High. So I think we're up against Ace Jack or just a total airball. So I don't love folding here. I think calling is pretty good, although I also think raising, if we wanted to turn our hand into a bluff and maybe get something better to fold, like a jack or some 10x that might have decided to play like really passively, then that's pretty cool. So I think calling or raising here is fine. And if we fold, I think we're just folding too many hands. If we don't think this person has like too many ace queens or 10x's and what have you. So I ended up not going for a bluff raise, and I just went with a call and showing 5-6 suited here. So I think that kind of makes sense. My opponent didn't want to c-bet that flop. They wanted to wait, and then they decided just to check the turn and go for it on the river since they only have 6 high. So it was a good one to win there.
Yeah, and so like Arlene talking about how scary the board is, but you got to realize too, like when we're ranging people, right? Like when he checks flop and turn, very little 10x, very little king x, no sets. So the jack isn't as scary. And usually the gut shots, it's again bet at some point too, right? So like when you take all that out of the range, this one becomes much less scary just because our opponent played so passively. If I had the 5-6, I feel like I would probably, I could see checking the flop with the 5-6 because we're going to check back some kings and some 10x and some gut shots and things too. But when we check twice, we're capped. And then if you want to start going bet and like big bet, maybe even big bet over bet for the Marlins out there, that starts to make more sense when you're in the 5-6 suited because you have no showdown value. Interesting board. All right, so these scores are a little wackadoo that you see on the screen. It was actually 23 points for the Beats and 16 points for the Dude. Congratulations, Beats. You got this one nice. Better nice. Better nice. The raise is super interesting on this one, too, because, like I said, he's going to have some 10x, and then he's going to have a lot of jack, and we can get jack to fold if we raise here. A hell of a lot. Cut up short about the turn? Yeah, I think so, too. All right, guys, let's pick a new keyword. We whizzed through that one. New keyword is no 6-6. All one word. My God. Roll your win to the next winner. Oh, shit. Beat's getting crazy. Cool. That means this quiz is worth $10. No 6-6 as with the number. NO66. Because we miss our buddy, man. Where's Sean when you need him? If you don't know, Sean is 6s. It's the same person. All right, let's go. Let's check this out. You know what's funny? I was hanging out with 6s. It was the first couple nights he got here. And he had come out for the first couple of days with a friend from town that didn't play poker. And it was funny because like I kept like I do need a stand-in partner in crime. Although I didn't know he wasn't showing up until he wasn't sure if he was going to play the main today or tomorrow. And I didn't know he wasn't showing up until late last night. But I do need a stand-in partner, Arlenia. You're right. I'm scrolling down here looking for a quiz while you guys are putting that in there. We got 14 eligible people in the giveaway right now. And I apologize because I can feel how low energy I am right now. So I'm glad you guys are here and paired with me. All right, cool. We're going to do this one. This is the Evan Falls view. We'll catch up here. Looking at Marlon. Nice. What up, Aaron? Welcome, buddy. Coming in with the no 6-6 right in the nick of time. For those of you guys that are new, let you know what we're going to do. We're going to draw 2 winners right now. The no 6-6 is the password right now. Draw 2 winners. Have you guys compete against each other for $5. We're going to take your score. We'll take the other guy's score. We're going to take this quiz together. Whoever gets the biggest score wins. We do this every Saturday at noon Eastern. I got to follow. I'm pretty sure that's Aaron. It is. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Bruce should be the stand-up partner. Marlon, we should have him campaign. Bruce can't even stand up. Let him be the stand-up partner. Well played, Bruce. Well played. All right, let's draw. Winner number 1. Bang! Geek Theory Optimal. Winner number 2. Bang! Tino Linda. Legends. Good luck, guys. Are you ready? Who should we put on the main screen? We'll put Geek up here on the main screen. We'll keep Tino over here on the other one. Let me get it. All right, I got it. Oh shit! I gotta move this to the other quiz. God damn it. 1393. And I'll play this while I'm doing that on either side. Ready, go!
Hello everyone, Evan Jarvis here for PokerCoaching.com. Today we are reviewing a tournament hand from the $2,500 buy-in World Poker Tour Falls View event I played earlier this year and made a decent run. We have Pocket Queens, early position. That's the first level of the tournament, 100 small blind, 200 big blind, 200 big blind ante. You face a 200 chip limp from under the gun.
What?
Pocket Queens, middle position. Action is on you. What should you do? Should you fold, over limp, raise to 1,000, or raise to 1,600?
Oh shit! What are we doing? 1K. Cyrus couldn't get it out there fast enough. Did the Phil Hellmuth push chip? Shove him in the middle. 1K for Fish. 1K for Geek Theory Optimal. You think Evan's quizzes are easy? What's this guy's username? Kamehameha Blaster? Kamehameha Blaster? What the hell? Kamehameha Blaster. 1K. I see, whoa, the 1Ks. Tino coming in with 1,600 though, so we're right away. We got controversy. That's a screen name that Evan gives. Evan always names the players at his table. So, assigned screen name. 800, so maybe I should size up a pip. This is Cap. Evan always has premiums. That is true. Non-premiums are a little better. But these queens could get sticky. Tudor says 1K 10 points, 1.6K also 10 points. Alright, so it was Tino and Geek. Shit, let me get my paper ready. Tino and Geek. And Tino said 16, and I believe Geek said 1K. Cool, let's find out. I would go 1K too. 5X is plenty. There's no real reason to go 8X. I don't think. Kind of agree with Presty here and Blimey. I'm pretty sure 1K is like pretty darn standard. Let's find out. It was 1K for Geek, 10 points. 16
In this
for
spot,
Tino.
my standard raise is to
8
raise
points.
to 1,000 here. Typically, I'm raising about 3 to 3.5x, or anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5x if there are no limps, and then I'm adding in 1.5 big blinds for every limper who's there. Some people will tell you slightly more, some will tell you slightly less. The important thing is that you're sizing it up to both build the pot and give your opponent less than stellar odds to continue. Now, that being said, in these tournaments where people in the early levels are willing to pay more to see flops, and typically after they limped, they're willing to call large size raises, coming in here for 1,600 or even 2,000 in some cases would be totally fine. You build a much bigger pot pre-flop, and if your opponent is the type to overvalue a top pair type hand when they call a raise with a hand like Jack 10 suited or 8-7 suited, you can extract a lot more value by going for much larger raise sizes pre-flop than you're used to doing. This is one of the adjustments you can make in games where people play way too loose and way too gambly. They're not thinking about raise sizing, they're just thinking about seeing flops, seeing if they can make hands, and they don't care what the price is. The earlier you start betting in a hand, or the larger you start betting early on in a hand, the larger you can bet throughout the hand and extract more value and punish your opponents for playing too loose and too speculatively. I chose the 1,000 size raising, but 1,600 has a lot of merit in this spot as well. As for overlimping, that's excessively fancy and not going to be the best play. Same with folding. You get a call from the small blind, the big blind, and the limper. No surprise there. Flop is 10 of spades, 8 of clubs, 6 of clubs. Goes check, and a 10,000 chip lead from a Kamehameha Blaster. Definitely a guy who came to gamble, he came to play. Under the gun folds, action's back on you. Pair of queens, blocking one of the outs for the flush draw. What should you do? Should you fold, call, raise to 20,000, or go all in?
Gotta love live poker. Limp, 5x, 2 callers in the back seat. Yeesh. I agree with Evan about sizing up against players that are over speculative, but I also think that that is more appropriate in like a cash game scenario than a tournament scenario where you have to be a little bit more careful and have some stack preservation in mind. Overcalled and a lead right into 3 players. Super awkward. Everybody calling except for Cyrus and Arlie and Tino going all in. Meatball with the call. How many bigs have we started this with? 145. Interesting. Call worrying about the underset, says Cress. 2x pot. 2x pot indeed. 2x pot indeed. Problems. Call, says Quick Russ. Hey, welcome, Quick Russ. Thanks for hopping in here, hanging out, and getting involved with me. Geek says, I'm calling because I expect him to stack off a 10x and potentially fold if a jam. Pucks and Poker says, call. Geek call, Tino jam. We got our guys there. Yeah, for me, we got to be really careful here. A couple of things. One, it's big blind that's leading out. So all the sets indeed possible. Also, 9-7, very possible. Don't really want to stack off, I don't think, a single pair hand. Especially when he goes like 2x pot. Like, it's going to be a scared 10 sometimes. Druck said he should never have this. It's polarized to nuts or nothing. And so you should only call. And that's kind of what I think. I think also we don't want to stack off a top pair hand here. First, early in a tournament, like you don't want to get 145 bigs in on this flop. You're only going to find 2 pairs. Sets and straights and all that stuff. Agreed, Presty. Totally agree. Totally agree. So I'm calling too. Geek calling and Tino jamming. Let's find out. Ready, go. Does he know how to polarize his range though? I mean, I think it's kind of natural for people to overbet here with the draw, the 10. Yeah. I think it's kind of natural. I don't know if this guy knows. He's a blaster. Run for the hills. Queen, queen, dead. Oh, I thought you were going to fold the flop, Deuterino. I was like, what? No, he says, just call here and expect to fold a lot of turns. Interesting. All right, let's find out. Geek calling and Tino jamming. Let's do it. Call, 10 points. Oh, call 8
this
points.
Situation is largely going to come down to your intentions for the tournament and what your game plan is for the tournament.
He likes jam or fold.
If you came here to fire the maximum bullets, which I think in this event is 2, this is a decent spot to get involved. We have a player who, from previous quizzes, we've seen does these oversized bets. They don't necessarily mean the nuts. They can definitely be medium strength hands. And against a lot of the hands he may do this with, we're in okay shape. That being said, we are rarely crushing our opponent here. Unless he has a pair of, say, jacks or 10 that he's doing this with. And we don't have a lot invested in the pot. We have a pre-flop raise of 5 big blinds. It's 3% of our starting stack. It is not a lot of chips. And if our plan is to only put 1 bullet in the event, this may be a spot that's actually too thin, too close for us to want to take it.
It is scary.
If our opponent does have 2 pair or great, we are absolutely dead. But let's take a look at his most likely holdings and how we're faring against them. So first against the
early in the tournament for sure.
Board here,
Super deep.
both against Ace 9 of clubs, which is an overcard, the nut flush draw and a gut shot. We are a slight underdog at 47.5%. If we swap that out for Ace 10 of clubs, which is top pair, top kicker,
I'm going to
flush
pause
draw,
for 1 quick sec. Notice that against Ace 9 of clubs here, gut shot over and flush draw. He doesn't even have a pair, and Queens is still slightly behind. So keeping that in mind. Even when he doesn't have a pair, we're behind sometimes.
Slight favorite. If we swap that out for Ace Jack, which is what looks to him like 2 overcards and a flush draw, but is in fact just 1, we are a slight favorite at 55%. If he has the combo draw, 10-9 of clubs, then he has 53%. He's a slight favorite. So against the stronger draws, it's very much a flip, and it's up to you whether you want to take that flip or not. If he has Ace 10, however, we have him in bad shape. If he has pocket jacks, we have him in very bad shape. If he has 10-9 offsuit, which some of these guys do, we have him in pretty bad shape at just 30%. But if he ever has 2 pair, we're the ones who are the 30% dog. If he ever has a straight, we're basically drawing dead. So it's important to range your opponent here accurately, because we see the most likely hands he has, we're basically flipping against. If his range is composed of these hands and, you know, top pair, top kicker, and weaker over pairs and pair and gut shot, we should go with the hand. If his range is composed of those draws as well as 2 pairs and sets and straights, then we should definitely find the fold. And that's where it's going to come down to your read on your opponent. As it was, I felt that
he folded.
We weren't going to be a big enough favorite to justify taking the spot. I didn't think we were going to see an Ace 10 offsuit here. So I folded. But, you know, people who have played with this player before have told me he was actually a lot wilder than I thought he was. At first, I thought he was putting a show on, but in reality, he's just there to gamble. So we fold, and he shows us Ace 9 of clubs. And against Ace 9 of clubs,
again, he's slightly behind.
A fine fold. But definitely a very close spot and a very interesting spot. And sometimes you're going to see these kind of sizings in tournaments, and it's important to both be able to fold over pairs when you feel like the odds just aren't in your favor, and it's also important to be able to call these big over bets with, you know, 1 pair type hands in spots where you think there's a very good chance they're actually good, because if your opponent flopped a hand that actually absolutely crushed you, they may go for a check raise. That being said, this is a very draw-heavy board, and one that we're going to check back a lot as the pre-flop raiser. Probably not with this particular hand, but with a lot of hands we would. And so it's understandable that he would lead here with, you know, his draws as well as his very strong hands. So that's why I opted to fold. But I think it's important to look at all the different possible outcomes and the different equities we're going to be running against different types of hands, and to also consider rebuy strategy. If you are here to fire as many bullets as possible to acquire a stack that's going to take you all the way to the final table, this is probably a spot where it's fine to gamble and hopefully hold up with the best hand. But if you're here on 1 or maybe even 2 bullets, you want to be sure you get it in as a significant favorite when you get your chips in the middle. This is probably a spot that you want to pass on. So that's where your rebuy strategy will come into play as well and affect your decisions. Remember, everything matters at the poker table. Everything should be factored into your decisions, and those were all the variables I considered and reasons that I put into making the decision that I did, ultimately finding the fold here. Anyway, pretty long analysis there. I hope you enjoyed it. This has been Evan Jarvis for PokerCoaching.com.
Folding cross.
Really hope you enjoyed this quiz and that you learned a thing or two. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Yeah, interesting. Like I'm probably never folding with the overpair here, just because I think he's got some of this. And the cool thing about this is if he bricks turn, the odds flip considerably. Just in general, especially with the ones that are like he's ahead now without a pair, they flip. But yeah, so this is an interesting one. Jamming was 10, calling was 8. So Tino got an 8 and then a 10. Geek got a 10 and then an 8, which means we're flipping. So Tino, call it heads or tails. In the meantime, I'm going to get the next run out ready. Tino, call it. Heads or tails? Where you at? Tails. All right, let's find out. Good luck. Tails it is. Tino, congratulations. Winning flips against Geek. You guys did good, and this was an interesting one because we have one of those like top 10 hands, and it still got really weird on the flop, right? So pretty cool stuff. I like this quiz. I like this one. Chris says, I'm saying, what are we doing in tournaments if we're not firing max bullets in that spot you're folding? Because you should be folding. Could argue calling too. Calling was 8 points. It's not really bad. But I would probably call, honestly, if I was on one bullet. But folding totally option. Not jamming, I guess, is the point. All in was also 10, Frosty, yes. Yeah. Tino, you don't have to claim. You were the only guy. Tin Man, is that your ACR screen name? Do me a favor, Tino. Whisper it to me so it comes with the pop-up and I'll see it. And that way I'll send them out. I'll send them out after the stream. Chris says, I got you, Toe. I was wanting to say we should always be firing max bullets. Oh! I'm with you. If you're entering the tournament, you should be firing max bullets. Yes and no. Sometimes, like, you sell action to like a 3K, 1,600, 1K, whatever level you're at in your buying game, right? And if you're sold the action to one bullet, sometimes you're tied to one bullet. For sure. Taking a shot at like a bigger buy-in for whatever your bankroll is, maybe it's just a shot, right? Sure. But like your average $16.50, $33 whatever the fuck, $16 or $5 whatever the fuck, yeah, fire max bullets. With you. I'm with you on that, Chris. Cool. All right, congratulations, Tino. New keyword just like that is GL66. Good luck, Crazy Sixes, in his main event, which is starting soon. He should be there in the next, let's say within an hour. Grinding it out. Stay tuned for updates. Meanwhile, I'm feeling a little Brad Wilson. 1400 is going to be the quiz here. There you go. 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 You would late reg day one of the main. He's doing that on some level. I know he's not starting right away. I'm not sure what level he's going to start at, though. I think he's going to start around noon, which is 2 hours from now. Somewhere in there. GL's coming in strong. Let those kind of wind out. In the meantime, exclamation point PC in the chat for you to sign up to the site for free. It's Jonathan Little's coaching site. There is a ton more content than you can possibly consume. There's courses designed toward tournaments. There's courses designed toward cash. Courses designed toward the fundamentals. There's these quizzes. There's homework assignments. There's weekly webinars live with these coaches. The roster of coaches is amazing. Make sure you check it out. I don't remember who said it. Someone said Evan was hanging out with Assassinato too much with that long-winded explanation. Interesting enough, I met Assassinato for the first time on Thursday. And he was a nice guy, kind of normal. Wasn't long-winded live. Nice guy, though. All right, let's draw this bitch. Uh-oh. Where'd Nightbot go? There it is. All right. Winning number 1. Bang! Carson in the house. Alex is an interesting dude. He is actually way more normal in a social hangout situation than I kind of expected. I kind of expected him to be a little nerdy and just a little long-winded in general. But he was totally normal dude. Winner number 2. Bang! Mr. Love Bluffin. Alrighty. We got Carlson in screen 1. And Love Bluffin in screen 2. And the reason why I don't use the notepad on my computer, Beats, is because I got 42 fucking windows open. I don't need another goddamn window. For crying out loud. To get lost on my giant 39-inch monitor. Pen and paper. Remember your roots. Remember your roots. Although I saw some article recently where handwriting is going extinct because people just don't do that anymore. You know? Did Sixes sneak in here? I see you guys commenting on him. I don't see him. Alex Interesting Cat. There he is. Main today, boys. You see the keyword? Keyword's GL66. We're thinking about you, buddy. We're thinking about you. We're thinking about you. All right, let's roll this bitch. Ready? We got Costin on screen 1 and Love Bluffin on screen 2. Let's get better.
Hey there, Poker Coaching. Tristan Wade with a quiz from a $300 online MTT. So in this instance, we have under the gun +1 raise to 700 min raise, and action folds to us on the low jack here with ace-10 suited.
Kinda
What
low,
should
huh?
you do? Should you fold? Should you call? Or should you raise to 2100?
All right, guys, here we are, 34 blinds deep with ace-10. What is the plan? You know what's funny is we started the stream, I said, we're just going to get better without sixes today. He said, no, no, no. No, no, no. He couldn't stay away. That's why we love him. Call for Cap, call for Dennis. And a couple of 3-bets. All right, all right, all right. Nobody folding. Call for Cousin. Call for Hollywood. Call for Love Bluffin. We got our 2 contestants in here. Call for Tino. Mr. Mendo. Mr. Geek Theory Optimal. The only raises I see out there. All the rest. Call, 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 call. Pressure says call suited. Raise unsuited. Cap said, I think with 3 ace wheel. Ace-10 suited doesn't get much better to fold. Interesting. I would argue that you're not getting a better ace to fold when you raise pre. Which I think is what you were alluding to there, Cap. I'm going to check the charts because I think ace low is still is a call. So I'm going to double check, make sure I ain't crazy. We'll round up to 40 bigs. Bang. And we are button cut off for 3 versus 1. 3 versus 1. Your really low suited aces are folding, Cap. You mix in a little bit of raises, ace-7, ace-8, ace-9. But ace-6 is a fold, ace-3 is a fold, ace-2 is a fold, 4 and 5 flat. So yeah, there's always a call. It's ace-10 suited. It's always a call. We don't want to raise this and go with it. And we don't want to raise this and fold to a 4-bet. This is always a call. Always a call. You guys got it. All the other guys, spaz alert. All right, let's go and find out.
I think some people would be inclined to call here, and
That's mostly right, Drugs.
I don't think it's
Uh-oh.
awful, although I do think
Tristan
it's
got caught
tough
off the
predicament
charts.
with a mediocre-ish hand and having
He
3
got
people
caught.
behind you with position. So I gave that score 5 points if you picked that. If we were closer to the cutoff or button, I think calling becomes more of an option.
He's worried about getting squoves in.
But when we're in earlier position, I think I prefer a 3-bet with this hand. It just seems too strong to fold. and calling is just kind of weak. So I think I like turning this into like a semi bluff, which with a pretty good equity hand. We can fold to a 4-bet, and we just have good flops and stuff that we can continue on. So I went with that option here
Huh.
to 2100, and everyone folds except the opener. The flop comes. Queen deuce 9, 2 diamonds, so pretty good flop for us. They check, and I want to know, what should you do here? Should you check back? Should you bet 1700 or bet 3000?
Super interesting because I actually have a variety of charts. My like GTO charts say it's 100% flat. If you look at the poker coaching charts, 40 bigs deep, low jack versus undergun raise, ace 10 suited actually mixing 50-50 raise. He ain't crazy. Bruce, thank you for the 16 months, buddy. This chart mixes. Still all the low ace X stuff folding though there because it's an early open cap. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Let's look at a competitor's chart just for sanity check. I have 3 different options here for charts. Let's check them out. This other site that shall remain nameless because they are a competitor. 40 bigs. Ooh, they don't have fucking under the gun 3 on their charts. They suck. All right, so we'll do 2 versus under the gun 1. Ace 10 suited does mix some raise. 42 call, 57 raise. And then under the gun, or let's do hijack versus under the gun 1. Ace 10 suited pure call. So it's pretty close. Pretty fucking close. I guess ace 10 suited, do whatever the fuck you want. All right, let me go through here real quick. 1700 for Hollywood. 1700 for Tino. 17 for Bruce. Fatima is a pure mix. That's such a funny statement, right? Pure mix. It's kind of an oxymoron. 1700, 1700, 1700, 1700, 1700. We should be at 30. Oh, we could check 30. I rounded up because we started the hand like 40 effective, but close to 40. But we could check 40. Hang on one sec. Or 30 rather. PokerCoaching.com. What? PokerCoaching.com. Tools. Charts. This is 30 bigs, low jack versus raise under the gun 1. Ace 10 suited, pure call at 30. Pure call. That's mostly because we can't really call 3-bet too easy, right? Costa going 17 here. Dude, 17. Lots of 17s. Check for meatball, though. Doesn't want to get check raised, he says. 3K for Cyrus. Wouldn't mind here checking because of the milling nature of this board. Okay. This is geek. 17 for beats. Carlson, I saw 17. Love bluffing. I might have to scroll because I was fucking around with charts and may have missed it. Nope. Love bluffing. Where you at, buddy? Frosty going 3. Big bet. $17 for drugs. $17 for guys. Love bluffing. Where you at? I don't see you. Did I miss it? Oh, there he is. 17. I see you. I see you. Cool. Everybody going 17. I believe I'm going 17 too. I'm going small. Take it down now if we can. And can call a raise. All seems good. I'm with you. 17. Let's roll it.
So there's 2 things we want to be thinking about here. I guess 3 things. First thing is, since we were the 3-better, what size bet do we need to make as a 3-better? And I think since this is already a big pot, we only need to be betting a quarter to half pot. We don't really need to be betting that big here. So I think a 25 to 30% bet is likely best. The second thing to think about is the board texture itself. I mean, this is a flop that we've got like kind of the top of our range. We flopped a flush draw with overcard. It's a pretty good flop, so we're not going anywhere. Our equity is pretty good here, so that's another thing to consider. And then the third thing is, if we do bet this flop, are we prepared to go all in? What's the size of the pot compared to our stack? And it's about 2 times. So,
Weirdness.
this isn't really a spot we'd want to check. Checking, we have plenty of equity to just get the money in now. So I don't give checking too high of a score. I think if you had a hand like ace-9 of diamonds, you might want to check a little more. Although I could be off on that. It's probably fine to just bet. But I think that's a hand that might want to check a little bit more than this hand itself, because it's not really a made hand yet. But anyway, I think betting 1,700 is the best bet here. It's a small bet, and it accomplishes a few different things. Betting 3,000 would be just too big of a bet. I don't think we need to make a large size that looks committing here. So we do go with 1,700, and we get called. The turn brings the 8 of hearts. They check. And what should you do now? Should you check? Should you bet 4,000 or go all in?
Bet, call, pick up the gut shot to go with it now. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? 3-bet, C-bet, kind of standard there, Cap. Especially 3-bet, C-bet small. Pretty standard, for sure. 4,000! Right about half pot for Carlson. Bruce agrees. All of the ins, says Mr. Crest Wavin. And Dennis. And Geek. Crook says, no. Hollywood going, though. Puck's jamming. Lots of jams. Lots of jams. Love Bluffing going 22, though. And Carlson going 4. All in, says Crook. Yeah, this is interesting. Block check 10. He's gonna float us with some ace king and stuff. Some under pair. We got a lot of outs twice or 4 against like the queen. I don't think 4K is the option. I don't think we bet half our stack. So for me, it's check or jam. I don't know where we are in the stage. I would check here a lot, to be honest with you. And just fully realize. And not jam and like, I mean, you do get better underpairs to fold. But you're never getting queen X to fold. I think I would check, to be honest with you. I think I would check. But that ain't what's happening here. Bluff didn't go in 22 and Carlson going 4. Let's see what Tristan has to say. Oh, wait. 22 not an option. Wait. I fucked that up. Carlson going... Love Bluffin going... Oh, wait. I misread Bluffin's here. 2,200 is kind of like check and jam. Yeah. Which way are you going, Love Bluffin? Let me see. 22... is not an option here. Never betting 4K, I agree. Then he jams and you're priced in and it's weird. You're always behind. Check. All right, cool. Love both and check in. And 4K for Carlson. Let's find out.
All right, well, we've made it this far in the hand. It is a 3-bet pot. So ranges should be a little tighter. But we only have 8,000. There's 8,000 in the pot. If there's ever a chance we get a fold, I think it's a huge win. And there are hands that might fold. Maybe we have like 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s that would fold to more action. Maybe you have a hand like King Jack that you are beating, but you just win against. Maybe you get like 9, 10 to fold. And I don't think we're getting a queen to fold, but maybe if someone's really tight, they do fold a queen somehow here. So I don't think checking is really an option, and I don't think betting is really an option. I think the only plan here is to just go all in. And if we do get called, we have plenty of outs, hopefully an ace. a jack gives us a straight, and a diamond gives us a nuts. So I think it's pretty easy all in. We get called, and we're up against one of the few hands we really don't want to see, the 8-9 of diamonds. But that's fine. We were trying to apply pressure to a weaker range, and yeah, we both just had pretty big flops for our hands.
Yeah, goose egged the check, which is going to make me want to run this hand. Costin eking it out by 1 point on the river, on the turn. I want to run this one. I really believe the turn is a check. I could be wrong, though. I could have been wrong. Not really a weaker range, weaker this street before we see. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. I mean, I don't think jamming is terrible. Run that shit, Toe. All right. Let me get this going. We said it was button cutoff for 3 versus 1. And we set it 30. Tools, charts. 30, under the gun 3 versus 1. Wait. Button cutoff 4, 3 versus 1. I'm right. This range. That's a 3-bet. Oh, it's a 3-bet pot too. Fuck. All right, cool. So that means it's like a bigger stack. But this is going to run super fast. It's going to take shorter time to run than for me to input. So bear with me. Under the gun 3, under the gun 1 versus 3-bet. Under 1 strategy. Call. Cool. Close. Out of position. Bang. 8-9 suited in range is... cool, which makes this a pot of 15 bigs. Cool. 15. Build and go. All right, cool. It's running. It'll take seconds. In the meantime, we'll go back to the quizzes, and we'll draw a new winner, and we'll put in a new keyword. Said run that shit, Toe. All right, new keyword. New keyword is going to be main event, all one word. Toe doing star work, you have to pull the ranges in manually. No, I have a fuck ton of ranges already imported that I did from multiple resources. Actually, I kind of put them in sections so I can compare charts because some are slightly different than others. So I have all the charts. I have thousands of charts. Not playing the main Rob. I'm staying away from live poker right now with the cooties going around. So I've been trying to stay away from, like, I'm okay being in the casino in general. I don't want to sit in that room with recirculate air and thousands of people passing cards and chips. I ain't trying to do that. And I'm only half vaccinated. I only have had 1 of the 2 shots. So yeah. Staying away from that shit this year. Being a lurker. Let's see if that shit is already done. It is! All right. Let me see if I can make this better for you to view. Since we're going down the rabbit hole. Browser. Turn my little cam on here. All right, cool. So, strategy. Out of position, full check. Cool, pretty standard. Ace-10 suited. Mixing quite... Oh, fuck. I ran it against the wrong board. Hold on. I always fucking do that shit. God damn it. I always do that shit. Any tips? You can get... Well... The charts that I got, thousands of them, I got... I got from a resource that handed me the text files. The other ones I just took the time to put in manually.
Did you? should you call?
Sorry, a sec. I'm going back into this quiz to get the flop here.
Pretty good flop for us. They check, and
It
I want to know
is
what
Queen
should you do. Should you
Diamond,
check
2
back? Should you bet
Diamond, 9
1700
club.
or bet
Cool.
3000?
We'll run it again. There we go. Yeah. Any tips on where to find the source we talked about? What I got the backs, yeah. I am part of, I have a day job like most of you guys know, and I work for a very large company, and the president put out that mandate where any companies of a certain size, if you work for those companies, you have to get vaccinated. And so I was forced to get vaccinated or lose my job. I had no choice. I'm not in a position where I could give up the job. All right, cool. Here we go. So here it is. Full check out of position to a 3-bet. Pretty standard. Ace 10 suited. Pure. Betting small. Pretty standard. They call. Turn was offsuit. Fuck. Why do I suck so bad today? I've already apologized that I'm on my B game today. So bear with me. What the fuck was the turn? Ace 21, bet 17, turn was 8
And
hard.
what should you do now? Should you check?
hard, 8
should
hard.
you bet 4000 or go on?
Offsuit 8. Ace 10 suited. Oh, no checking. Interesting. I mean, 0.002. No checking. There is a good amount of bet not jam, though. 16 out of our 23 stack. Pile going a little cray-cray. And then a lot of jamming. Yeah. It's a lot of jamming. So I stand corrected. I thought check was going to be way heavier than it is, considering it's non-existent. Point for Tristan. He ain't wrong. Pio tripping, dog. No, we learn, we get better. We get better. All right, cool. So that's interesting because I would have thought check was at least some percentage. This is no fucking percentage. I was wrong. Somebody implied certain... Yeah, plus fold equity. I mean, yeah, you're right. I was wrong. Even I'm getting better today. Let's fucking go. All right, main event. All one word is... Oh, fuck. Did I fucking... Damn it. We're quickly going from D plus to massive fail on the stream. Main event, all one word. Get in there again. I had to redo it. So if you did it before, it didn't count. While you guys are doing that, I'll pick a quiz. That is working now. I misclicked, closed the wrong browser window. Apologies. All right, Brad Wilson. Here we go. 1,400. We don't do a lot of Brad. Let's give Brad some love. Am I all right? I'm just tired, man. I went out Thursday night for the pro coaching hangout. I was out till about 4:30 in the morning. Got home. Had a bunch of broken sleep because it was a weekday. My phone was blowing up first thing in the morning from work. And then at by 9 a.m. I was up. By 9:30 I was out the door. Drove a tank at 10. Had lunch with the family at 11. Just off my game, man. I'm tired. Going out to Jay Smith and Melissa's housewarming party today. Watch the UFC. Kind of take it easy. And then big Sunday grind. Did Brad Owens fly? Did I say Brad Owens? Because this is Brad Wilson. I don't know anything about where Brad Owens is or what he's doing. D is still passing. We're eking our way in. That's funny as hell. We'll do a JL quiz next, Beats. All right, let's draw winners. Winner number 1. Bang. Oh, shit. It's drugs. What? Not Brad Wilson. Not Brad Owens. No. Brad Wilson. It's that other guy. Drugs going up. Oh, shit. Drugs against the machine gun. Marlon, you can be able to answer these quizzes questions here while you're driving. Don't die. I'm waiting to see if he's going to die. He says, let's go. He put out the fucking gauntlet. All right, we'll keep drugs on the main screen, Marlon on the second screen. Let's roll it. Good luck.
What is happening, my friend? Coach Brad here with a poker
He pulled
coaching
his card
quiz.
over to take the
We
quiz.
have ace deuce suited under the gun. I'm not
Legend.
going to ask you what you should do because folding pre would make for a very silly quiz. We open 2.5x from under the gun. A fish calls on the button, and I want to make a distinction between a fish and a rec. A fish, in my mind, is a player who's playing losing poker. Recreational players who are hobbyists can play at a high level. They can play winning poker themselves. So we have a passive fish who calls on the button. Both blinds fold. And then we see a flop of king 10 for rainbow. And now we're at our first decision point. Do we check? Do we start out by betting 1/3? Or do we start out by betting 1/2 pot? What would you do?
Does Marlon a Tesla? Engage auto drive. Hold my beer. I'm gonna fuck drugs up in this quiz, said Marlon. Cash. I mean, cash is no different than the early stages of a tournament, really, right? It's good to know big stack poker. It's important. Super important. We open under the gun, ace 2, get flattered by the deal. We open under the button, cut off 4-3. We open under the gun 3. Ace 2 suited, pretty standard. Dealer button, calling. And now, do we c-bet or no? Crest says 2.2. Third for Hollywood, 2.2 for Dennis. Check for Cyrus. Third, check. 2.2 for Machine Gun. Oh, bet 5 starting to roll in. We now officially have every answer. Costing going 5. Fish or not, I'm checking. Says cap. Do we play Kate? I mean, the Rangers are slightly different because you're so much deeper in cash all the time versus the early stages of very, very early stages of a tournament where you're only 200 bigs deep. You generally, in the beginning of the fucking tournament. You know what I'm saying? 5 for drugs. All right, 5 for drugs. Marlon going 2x2. Both c-betting. Toe checking 100%. We're out of position against a fish who's going to float us a lot with a lot of weird things and put us in fucking hell. We have no way to improve. So I am most certainly checking and either giving up or evaluating turn and maybe trying to take it away. That's my guess. Drugs going 5 though, and Machine Gun going 2.2. Let's find out.
Okay, so what should you do on this board as the pre-flop raiser? When you raise under the gun, the button flats, who is a fish.
Except you're not under the gun.
Worth 10 points is start out by betting 1/3. Betting 1/2 yielded you 7 points, and checking yielded you 2 points. Want to start out by betting here. We can realize fold equity against some of the weaker hands, the offsuit aces, the suited connectors, potentially even some of the smaller pocket pairs. So we start out by betting 1/3, and our opponent calls, and now the turn is the 5 of hearts. And what should you do here? Should you check? Should you bet 5.8? Or should you bet 13?
All right, we see bet. We got floated. I tried to warn him. I said this was going to happen. And now we out here with a gut shot and a dream. What's the plan, guys? This is interesting. Another one I want to run, but can't do this one quite on stream. It's 100 bigs deep, and so it'll take forever. Open fold to Cyrus. 6 max under the gun is going to be very similar to under the gun 3 at a full table. 13 for cap. 5.8 for Carlson. Bruce going 13. Geek going 13. Only Friends going 13. Dude going 13. 13 for Pucks. 13 for Kress. It was in BBs. Court awareness, 0 for drugs. Chris is in real life over betting. Interesting. Notice that one, not an option. 13 for Tito. Check for Hollywood. Check for Crook. Drugs, what are you doing here on the turn, buddy? $13 for Drugs. Marlin, sizing down, 5.8. I mean, fuck, I guess as played, we bet. And I'm probably going 13, sizing up. Try and get a 10 to fold, push out some of those draws. I just hate being in this fucking spot, which is why I would have checked. But, yeah, I think we have to bet now and try and get those things to fold. We're out here with junk ass ace and in trouble. So, yeah, I think 13 is going to be the answer here. What up, Golden Pair? Welcome, buddy. Can't check now. Sometimes you got to shoot your way out, I guess, dude, arena, right? I agree, Geek. I totally agree with that range. I agree. I think if we fire, we probably have to fire big. Oh, let's find out. 5.8 for machine gun, 13 for drugs.
All right, for
Let's
your
get the 10.
turn decision point.
7 points for 5.8. They are now tied.
Betting at 13 yielded 10 points. Betting 5.8 yielded 7, and checking yielded 0. The reasoning as to why I believe you ought to be betting this turn is that our opponent, because they are a passive fish, they're going to have a lot of gut shots, offsuit Broadway type hands. They're going to have a lot of 10x that they call the flop with, and they're also going to have some pocket pairs. So like 6s, 7s, 8s, 5s, those type of hands are also going to call because we chose the 1/3 sizing. What that does is it allows our opponent to continue lighter, and because they continue the flop lighter, we size up here on the turn to maximize our fold equity, and that just means going 2/3. So we bet 2/3 here. Our opponent calls, and now we have the 10 of diamonds river. What should you do? Should you check here? Should you bet 30? So about 3/4 pot, or should you bet 22? About 1/2 pot.
You know what's interesting is as a content creator, something that I always catch and it drives me crazy. Maria Ho does this a lot too, which kind of drives me crazy, even though I think she's a pretty decent announcer. And I know Brad, super nice guy, super smart. But like, it's funny because a lot of these content creators, and Brad's been in the game a while. Maria's just kind of starting out as an announcer career, but like, you will notice that they have a lot of unnecessary pauses when they talk and give explanations. And now that I pointed that out to you, it's going to melt your brain forever. You're never going to stop hearing it. So thank you. Congratulations on that. All right, what are we doing here? Bet, call. This motherfucker's still here. We get a 10 on the river. Crest says definitely give up. Meatball giving up. Dennis giving up. Puck's giving up. Kept giving up. Is indeed a shit-ass card. William Shatner. I have. See, but then with William Shatner, you have to do it in his voice. I have to give a lot of pauses in my explanation. Spock. Was that Starlog? Starlog, 8.23467. Don't c-bet your fucking ace-2. Check. Condenses rain says drugs. Turn big bet. Not folding out too much now. Agreed. What did Machine Gun do? He ain't out here yet. Machine Gun, what are you doing? You blasting this shit? You living up to the name? You waving the white flag? What's the dealio? Stardate. Punt that shit, says Crook. We beat most of his bricks. 30. We knew Marlon was machine gunning it. Yeah, check. We bet big. He's still here. If he's got Queen Jack, we beat it. Like, what the fuck? How much? He's got something. He called 2 bets. He got something. Got a little something. Check fold. Yeah. Spock, you know, I've always found you attractive. Those pointy ears on my jam. All right, so C blocker here says drugs fold hands like Queen Jack, which we beat, but then they can't blast us, is what drugs is kind of saying. Yeah. Battle goes through, yeah, because then you block more. Yeah. Actually, the good thing about this hand, now that I think about it, is you don't block Queen Jack. You don't block Queen 9. I don't know that you want to have a Jack 9 or Queen in your hand. Could be wrong. You do block some of the 10x. That is true, which I do like. You are right about that, Geek Theory Optimal. Block 10x, King X combos. King 10. I'm sorry. King 10, King 9, that kind of thing. Absolutely. All right, cool. Drugs checking, machine gunning. Let's find out.
So here, checking gets 10 points. Betting 30 gets 2 points. And then the half pot sizing nets you 0 points. So here we definitely want to start out by checking. And then our opponent goes ahead and bets exactly 1/2 pot. And now you're faced with a river decision. What should you do right here?
You did not win. Machine gun, 2 points for 30. 2 points for 30. Drugs now taking the lead. You are at 19. Drugs is at 27. Brad does not fuck around with the points, too. He does not mess around with the points. Lots of folds streaming in. Lots of folds. All folds. Folds. Everybody folding except for Drugs and Marlon, who have not answered yet. Fold and quit the cash games. Same thing in a big stack in a tournament, though. It's good to know these things. I don't play cash games. I hear you on that. Costum fold. Panic fish cold. Not a call in the bunch. Not a peep from our contestants. Is there ever to check raise here, given a small sizing and game to fold? Let me let the other guys talk here, and then I'll try and get to that, Pugs. Fold for Brian. Drugs, machine gun. Where you at? Drugs chasing his nephew around the house. Marlon said, oh shit, I fucked up the turn. I'm getting back in the car and going to work. Fold, he says. There he is. Now we're just waiting for Drugs. Fold for Feliz Suerte. Drugs. Tie your nephew off to a tree, give him a bowl of water, and get back in here, son. Drugs, toe. Beat a couple of his straight draws and backdoor flush draws, but I probably fold his hand. Yeah, me too. Like I said, we fired. Probably folding. As far as check raising this, like, we just don't block anything, really. We don't block anything at all. And he's got a ton of 10x and King X. I think just find another spot. All right, let's check. Let's fold rather. Let's see what happens.
Okay, so the river paired the board, and now we're facing a half pot sizing.
Brad
You had your
wasn't
options to fold, to call,
There's not
or
that many
to
misdraws,
raise
Brad.
to 75. The folding option netted you 0 points. For those of you who are the more ambitious type that wanted to raise 75, that also netted you 0 points for your ambition. Calling is the preferred method of continuing here. So we call the river. Villain has 7-9 of hearts. The reason that you're calling here instead of raising and instead of folding is because we're getting 3-1 on the river. We need to win approximately 25% of the time, and Villain is representing a polarized range. Because our opponent is a fish, it makes them less likely to value bet their King X here on the river. And if they have 10X, which They may and they may not. They can fold the 10x on the turn occasionally. So they don't even show up with all of the trips here on the river.
Yeah,
because
zero's
they're a
kinda crazy
fish,
there,
typically
guys.
when fish river trips, they size up to about 75% pot or full pot. So because villain is polarized here and used a sizing that does not indicate
Oh, he said he got a sizing
much
tell.
value, and because we bet 1/3 on the flop here to keep villain's range wide,
Agree with
we
that.
are able to find a call and pick off villain's bluff with ace high.
So what's interesting is he said that this guy's a fish because he's not playing winning poker, but he didn't say that this guy was like an aggro fish or a tight fish or just fish. Man, this is a tough one. This is a tough. That's a fucking hard ass call on the river. I just didn't think there was that many draws out there. This one of them though. This is like bottom of his range. Marlon, you lost 19 points to Drugs 27. Oh, that reminds me too. Tino, you got the $10 win for the flip. Let me make that note. Cool. Yeah, super hard call. Super hard call. Yeah, Marlon, too much machine gunning on the river, I think is where you bet the 30, right? Yeah, too much machine gunning. All right, what time is it? We got time for one more quiz. He still has Queen 9 and Jack 9. He does. Queen Jack, of course, does. I guess I didn't put too much of that, like, weird backdoor straight, backdoor flush in his range, which is what he had, right? Like, that's a lot of backdoor shit, but it's definitely there. I think a lot of the 9-7 backdoor flush off folds the flop. Except we bet the flop and he called. Yeah. Marlon, remember to ask yourself the very important questions. This will help you a lot because you like to fire. In that, if you're firing, ask yourself, am I betting as a bluff or am I betting for value? And if I'm betting for value, what's worse that's calling? I'm betting as a bluff. What's better that's folding? Key. I think that will help you a lot, Machine Gun. How often are those combos calling? Yeah, like I said, 7-9 suited, kind of the super bottom of his range, right? While we're blabbing about this, let's get a keyword in here because we're running out of time. Keyword is blabbing, BLABBING. Seems like more a soul read quiz. I mean, he is right in that when we size down on the flop, which we do a lot, they float us a lot, which they did, and they do a lot. The problem is like most of that stuff folds the turns. It's only the backdoor hearts, which is what, like 25% or something of his range, something in that range, something in that area. And the fact that he polarized the river, which is pretty standard for bluff or nuts. But even like, the problem is like a lot. Sometimes when it's King 10, I would think like some of his better ace highs take the same line. The ones that had gut shots, ace 10, right? Oh no, it was King 10 flop. So ace jack with 3-bet pre. I guess there's not a lot of those. If you don't add up, calls ass down. Agreed with that, Panic Fish. Except this one kind of added up, right? We bet the flop, we bet the turn. He's still here. Kind of added up. That's a tough one. All right, while you guys doing that, let's get the quiz picked. You guys wanted JL, and by you guys, I mean Mr. Beats. And it looks like the JL quiz is going to be 1404. 1404. Oh, wait. No, that's Evan. My bad. It did. I couldn't make that call. Yeah, I'm not making that fucking call. That's a fucking hard call to make, man. I lied. It was 1408 is the one I'm looking for. All right, this is a 10K tournament, too. This is a big one. All right, guys. Let's draw our winners. Winner number one is Mr. Pucks in Poker. What up, what up, what up? versus Geek. You already want one, so let's pick someone different. Sorry about that, buddy. Mr. Cyrus. All right, Cyrus versus. I did not drive the tank. I paid to be a passenger. Geek and Pucks. Let the wife do all the driving. It was her birthday. Super fun. She was actually really good at it, man. Like, the first 5 minutes, she wasn't like crazy, like, she was actually pretty smooth. The turns are a little weird because you're on a track, right? You don't have wheels. So you kind of have to come way into a turn and then go into the turn and, and then go. But by like lap 2, she was coming to the turn and like drifting them in a fucking tank. That shit was crazy. She was really good, actually. It was super fun. We didn't get to do it because it's kind of expensive. You have to actually buy the car, but you can crush a car. It's cheaper some other places. Here in Vegas, it's fun. But they have a bunch of stuff like you can shoot a bazooka. You can shoot a fucking like 50 cal, like all this crazy shit. They have one thing where you go up in a helicopter and they set these targets up in the mountain, out in the desert, and you fly through in the helicopter and you fucking shoot the 50 cal at the fucking targets on the mountain. Kind of crazy. I would love to do that, man. Like that's fucking insane. Whoever gets to do that in their life. Whoever gets to ride in a tank, not very many people. Yeah, crazy, man. Super crazy. I'm not the biggest gun guy, but I was like, seeing that, I was like, kind of want to shoot a machine gun. Like, when do you ever get to shoot a fucking machine gun? Shit. Like, what the fuck? Put on a bandana like Rambo. Fucking crazy. All right. Let's run this quiz. Good luck, Pucks. Good luck, Cyrus. Let's do it.
Here we have Ace Queen of Diamonds. Pretty solid hand. We're just going to raise it up to a 2.5.
Oh,
big
Puck's
blind
opting out.
raise.
Shit.
The button, a splashy player 3 bets, and then a tight
Hollywood, you're
aggressive
stepping
player
in.
elects to cold call in the small blind. Oh boy. Should we fold, call, re-raise to 11,000, or go all in?
All right, guys, what are we doing with Ace Queen here? Raise. 3 bet. No. What's going on here? Small blind, big blind. Raise. Yeah, raise, 3 bet call. That's what's happening. Carlson coming in with the call. Crest coming in with the raise. Raises. Tino, raise. Friends, raise. Hollywood, raise. Here come the calls. Ooh, good mix. Nobody jamming. 100 bigs deep. Squeeze and fold, says Bruce. Geek in there. Cyrus calling. Call for beats. What we got going? Cyrus and Puck said he was gone, and then I redrew to Hollywood, and then he said he was back. I think we're kind of shit out of luck there, Puck, because I already redrew, and I feel guilty. All right. Hollywood said 11, and Cyrus said call for me. Yeah, I think I'm just calling. I don't really want to raise this and then fold, and I'm certainly not raising and calling 100 bigs deep to a 5-bet jam. The problem with this is like the small blind flat, especially if he's marked tag, is fucked. Like that's a strong ass hand. So that really concerns me. And ace queen suited a little too fucking strong to just fold. I'm leaning call here. I think I'm leaning call. I'm leaning call myself. We got Cyrus up first on this screen, so we will call, and then we'll keep Hollywood on the other one. With the raise, let's find out.
I think the only viable option
Raise
we have
5
in this scenario is to call. We're putting in 2,400 chips into a pot that's going to be 11,000, so we're getting pretty great pot odds. And our suited ace, ace queen, good hand by itself, is pretty nice. We do have to be very careful after the flop if we do make top pair. So don't think we should just be like mindlessly blasting if we do make top pair after the flop, because we realistically could be beat by this small blind tag. who certainly could just be trapping with aces or kings, or maybe have ace-king, right? So this is a spot where we have to be a little bit cautious. I don't really love re-raising. If we do re-raise, maybe we can get value from the splashy player if he's going to call with all sorts of nonsense, but I'm not convinced we're in great shape here, and I don't want to do anything to mess this up. And I think re-raising is the easiest way to mess this up. Also, we don't want to go all in. That would be for tons of chips. That's completely unnecessary. So we call. Flop comes ace, jack, 4. And the small blind checks. Should we check, bet 4,000, bet 8,000, or bet 12,000?
All right, folks, we're here. We are here. What's the plan here? We're in the middle. Multi-way. Checks starting to stream in. Check. Everybody checking. Checking for cost. Check. Everybody checking. We're checking. Everybody's checking. What, are you crazy? We're in the middle. We're way ahead. We're way behind. Check. Everybody check. Don't bet. What are we betting for? Let's check.
Even though this is an excellent flop for my hand, well, when I say excellent, I mean pretty decent. We have top pair. Even though it's a pretty good flop for my hand, we definitely do not want to be leading into the pre-flop 3-better. It's very easy for the player on the button to have ace-king, ace-jack, pocket aces, pocket jacks, pocket fours, although probably not
Kept
pocket
thinking
fours,
ahead.
or ace-4 suited, right? So even though this may look like a pretty strong hand, I think this is actually a somewhat marginal hand, and it's definitely a marginal made hand. And I would actually say that if I check here, splashy player bets, small blind raises, or even calls, I'm probably just going to fold immediately. I know that may sound tight to some of you, but this is a scenario where we're going to be highly likely to be dominated. So we have to make sure we are very, very cautious in this scenario. That said, this time we do check. You don't want to be leading into the pre-flop 3-better pretty much ever. We check. Button bets 6,000, so half pot. Small blind fold, so who knows what he had. Probably just some pair. And now it's back to me. Should we fold, call, raise to 15,000, or raise to 25,000?
All right, guys. What do we do now? I was doing the math in my head. I thought you saw me scribbling. Squinting. Call. Call this and check raise with king queen, says Meatball. Raise for value, says Cress. Weston Dave, what up? Calling. Panic Fish. Raising. Hollywood with the call. Kept on the ropes. Geek call. Tino raising. Carson raising. Beats calling. Lots of mixing. Lots of 15K here. No 25. Interesting. Waiting for Cyrus, I believe. Oh, call. I think. Did you say call, Cyrus? Keep me honest. I see Hollywood's calling. I see you said call and tag me, but I'm not sure if that's for the street before or not. Crook says 15. Deuterino call him. What are you doing, Cyrus? Remind me. Said call. Cool. For me, I am definitely 3-betting this. Splashy player. Plus, we get value from Morse Ace-X. We get value from flush draw. We get value from combo straight draws. I would raising this. The thing is, like, I'm not raising this 15. I would be raising out of position. I'm really leading 25. Plus, we're deep as fuck. Which means I really want to start to I want to put some chips in the pot. I want to give the draws a bad price. When we go 15, we give them a really good price. And I think if we give Splashy a bad price, he's still going to continue, which makes him make a mistake. And if he continues for the good price, he's not making a mistake. I also want to get him now before the flop either scares me or scares him. So get those chips out. I would go 25. Call for both our contestants, though. Let's find out if I'm crazy. John likes call.
At this point, we have what I view to be a very strong
Might have to run
bluff
this one,
catcher.
too. I'm
It's certainly
feeling
not a
pretty good
premium
about
hand.
it.
I'm not trying to raise and get the money in. I understand the opponent could be splashy, so who knows what they have in their range. Maybe they have 9-8 of spades, which I would like to raise against, or King 10 offsuit, which I wouldn't mind raising against. But it's impossible to know how wide the opponent's strategy is, especially when you're looking at one
We are
static
top
hand
of
where I don't know
range.
anything about what the opponent does in general. So this is a spot where I'm just going to call, and then I'm going to check every turn. I check a turn.
He's going to check. Oh, doesn't check.
Opponent bets 12,000. Ugh. Tough spot because it looks like they may be setting up a sizable river bet, right? Should we fold, call, raise to 28,000,
I'm really
or
curious
go
to
all
know
in?
how much the raise was, point-wise. All right, guys, we're here. We get a nice brick turn, thankfully. No king, no queen, no spade, no 10. Even a queen, gives us 2 pair, but still a bit awkward. Hey, what's up, Viv? Viv jamming here. Calling against Splashy from Crest, friends, Dennis, B-Ball. Plan to call most rivers says Geek. Call Leon Block says Presty. Call for Costin. Call. Tino jamming. I just don't think we're stacking off very much. What do we lose to? Ace Jack and Ace King? Call for Cyrus. I see you. Hollywood calling again. Yeah, this is weird. I really don't know what to do when we get here. I guess I'm calling when we played it the way Jonathan did. Not much has changed. We keep the worst draws in, but we let them realize at their own price, which is why I raise. I hate that part of this. Yeah, I guess we're calling as played. As played. You always know you fucked up. This is a general comment. I'm not saying Jonathan necessarily fucked up. I'm going to run this too. But you always know you fucked up if you have a coach or you're studying hands and they say, as played, it's a key tell. You fucked up. Yeah, they're calling. Let's call. Let's find out.
When the opponent bets again on the turn using a reasonably large bet size half pot, it definitely should make you somewhat concerned. That said, this player is listed as splashy. We block ace king, we block ace jack, we block ace 4, right? That is relevant. You're going to find that typically when you have a good top pair, you really don't need to be folding unless you know your opponent's really tight and straightforward. And here I kind of have the opposite read, that this player is splashy, which means they're playing a lot of pots in a probably aggressive manner, maybe aggressive, maybe passive, who knows. But I think our hand's just too good to fold here. If I'm folding this, I really am folding almost every hand in my range, right? Try to come up with too many better hands that I could actually have in this spot, and there aren't all that many. So I think we have to call. And am I going to call if our opponent bets the river? I do not know. We check. This time the opponent checks, though, which is very, very nice. Sometimes we're going to lose
that
here.
bad of a card. He's got less jacks in his hand.
An ace-king type hand.
Not that many
But I
jacks
think for the
in
most
deck.
part, we're actually in pretty
blocked
good
the
shape
ace.
here because we are going to be against a lower ace or just a bluff that gave up. If the opponent did bet this jack river, I would have been sick, especially if they bet big. If they bet big here, it's probably just a fold. Maybe it's not. I don't know. This is the tough thing, right? If they bet big, maybe the idea is they're just trying to get us to fold out all of our ace-x. However, I certainly could have some jacks in my range that would like to call. And if I am calling with some jacks, our opponent definitely has to be careful blasting the river. So this is a spot where it would be pretty dicey. And the nice thing about these dicey spots, especially in tournaments against perhaps not overly aggressive players, is that they don't really come up all that often. A lot of people fear the absolute worst possible thing happening. And, sometimes it happens, but very often it doesn't. Very often, it just goes check, check, and we win. Or we lose. Maybe the guy has ace king and we lose. Who knows?
Look at my
This time he had ace
value.
5 of spades, though.
My
I think
check
the opponent
raise
definitely messed his
gets-
hand up. I think it's a
No,
pretty
we
easy check on the
stack
flop
it.
for the opponent.
Not
'Cause
like
what does he worry about
this.
getting outdrawn by, right? There's not a whole lot he has to worry about getting outdrawn by. And even if he does get outdrawn by, king 10 on the turn when a queen comes, he could always spike
Tried
a
to
spade on the
warn
river
ya.
and win a big pot. By betting the flop and especially the turn, I think the turn bet's really bad. He pretty much forces me to have mostly better hands. Like I said, I could have a jack, but I could also have lots of aces, right? And all my aces beat his aces. There is certainly some merit in betting to build a pot in the case that you want to make the pot big by the river, but I think it's completely unnecessary. Most likely the opponent's going to have a marginal made hand by the river, so he wants to keep the pot manageable. And I think this was quite poorly played by the opponent. In my mind, he should have just checked flop. I would have bet the turn he would have called. I would have checked the river, he would have checked, and he would have lost one fewer bet. And right here, this bet that he lost was 12,000 chips, 30 big blinds. The opponent lost 30 big blinds, in my mind, completely unnecessarily.
A lot.
And, well, you want to make sure you don't do that.
Woo! Woo! I'd have smoked this fool. I'd have smoked him with his ace-5. That is one of my sexy favorite junky hands, absolutely. You flop a flop like this, I mean, this is amazing flop and turn for ace-5 of spades. Amazing. I don't really blame that guy too much. I can arguably see checking turn with the bet check. With your, you get to realize one. You don't limit him down to an ace that's beating you. Yeah. Cyrus, congratulations, you swished. Amazing. Hollywood. Oh, you didn't swish. You got in trouble on street 1. I thought you swished too. Shit. Cyrus taking it down. Wow. Stacked his ass. Yeah, I'd have got him. I'd have got his ass for sure. The hell? Top of range? What the hell? All right, guys, that's a wrap for me. Thank you for hanging. Thank you for hanging with me when my brain was only half awake and into it today. I appreciate you. We'll have sixes back next week. So that's cool. Exclamation point PC in the chat for you to sign up for pokercoaching.com for free. You get big blind charts for 100 blinds or more. Homework assignments. You get 20 free quizzes. If you sign up for premium, there's thousands of quizzes, thousands of homework assignments, hundreds of webinars, courses dedicated to cash game strategy and tournament strategy. Totally full courses, full curriculum courses. You should check that shit out if you can. Exclamation point PC Discord in the chat for you to go to the Poker Coaching Discord, which is something that Sixes and I also manage. And we have free more study. It's a little different than this. We don't just do the quizzes and compete. We go deep. We look at PIO. We look at some lucid sims. We look at aggregate reports. We go much deeper there. So check that out. Make sure to give a follow to Crazy Sixes, even though he wasn't here. He's still my partner in crime. Put that in there. If you like this one and want to see this one, anyone we've ever done in the past, the one with me, the one with Sixes, the one with our guests, we've had Raj Jaka, Greg Raymer, Jesse Sylvia, Bet on Drew, Fat Train. We've had just a heaping wealth of players on the stream. Check that out. We got some more guests coming up soon. We're wrangling them now. And I think that's all the shilling. I'm going to throw the raid over to Blind Guy 789. Check him out. Give him some love. And I will see you in a few days. Peace, guys.